It's crazy to me that this series was kicked off Max and is now on Amazon Prime because they sure did miss out. Let's talk about that. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Movie Emporium's TV review of the first season of Batman Caped Crusader. This was developed, of course, by Bruce Timm. Okay, so now we have Batman Caped Crusader, the latest addition into the Batman animated series that has been going on for quite a while. Of course, we have the most famous one, which is the Batman animated series back in the 90s. And what Caped Crusader is Bruce Timm's spiritual successor to that series. It's a series that is closely related, closely animated, and feels just like the Batman animated series that we know and love. But the difference from this series compared to the other one is this is a much darker, much more mature TV-14 take, unlike the PG version that came out back in the 90s. So there is violence, like there's death, there is killing, and it actually goes places that has been seen in like the animated movies and of course the Batman with Matt Reeves series and stuff like that. But a series like this that's it feels like a spiritual successor. I don't know if they're going to call it that, but a spiritual successor to the look and feel of Batman the animated series. This is a really interesting take, but it brings in Hamish Linklater as the voice of Batman, the voice of Bruce Wayne, and on top of everything that's going on, he is doing what Batman does. He's a detective, he's also a crime fighter, but it also gives us stories of villains and characters that you may not know. It actually goes beyond the Mr. Freeze and the Joker and so on and so forth, the Riddler, the major villains of the Batman franchise, and gives us smaller characters. And that's a really interesting take. You have like Automatopoeia, you have Nocturno, you have Firebug. It's just a really interesting kind of not what I wouldn't say downgrade, but an interesting way for Bruce Timm to bring in characters that may not be well known. It actually enhances the film or the TV series a little bit. But you also have people like Harvey Dent, you have people like Flash, and you have people like Catwoman and Barbara Gordon, and of course, Commissioner Gordon. But this is like what would happen if Bruce Timm was allowed to create a series that did like kind of like what James Gunn does when he does his series or movies or whatever, and allow the kind of cavalcade of characters you may not know, the very kind of B, C grade tier characters, and allow them to become kind of main focuses for this TV series. And so that's basically in a nutshell what Batman Caped Crusader is. It's a kind of a spiritual successor to the animated series, but slapped with the TV-14 rating. So there are stuff in here that might not be for younger kids like the animated series was. So as I alluded to probably twice now, it's quite a shame that, I know it was for tax reasons. I know it was because they need to unload a lot of debt, but getting rid of series like this or the Coyote movie or any of this stuff, the Batgirl movie, it seems such a shame, to be fairly honest, because what we're finding out is that there's also a Looney Tunes movie coming out with, I think, Marvin the Martian or something like that, which is supposed to be really good. But what I have gathered is that it's more of just saving money. It's more of getting rid of stuff to not have to worry about paying people. And that is an unfortunate event for a series, especially like this, because when it comes to Bruce Timm, when it comes to J.J. Abrams, when it comes to Matt Reeves, who are all executive producers on this show, there is a level of prestige that you're throwing away into a trash can, a bin. And that is kind of disgusting, to be fairly honest. It really is. I really don't know what happened. I don't know why they thought it would have been a good idea to get rid of the series, but I'm so glad Prime picked this up, because getting into my honest review of this series, I think it's fantastic. Is it have issues? Yes. There's some the dialogue in this series is really kind of off-putting, to be fairly honest. It goes places and characters say things. It just doesn't feel natural. And that's just the nature of like animated series in general, or the animated movies, is they're never, a lot of the animated DC movies are fun to watch, but they're not the most well-rounded voice acting, to be fairly honest. And it's the same thing here. I think Hamish Linklater does a pretty decent job, and I think he's fun as Batman, but there's something truly off about his performance that just feels weird. And like I said, some of the writing and some of the way characters interact, whether it be Harvey Dent or Catwoman, it just feels like dialogue that is just wooden. It feels laughable. But with that said, it's still a really good show. It's still a really entertaining show. I like the mature themes. I like the mature ideas. I like the fact that, this is willing to take chances. It's not the most R-rated thing we've seen or the most hardcore thing we've seen from the DC animated universe, but it's so close and so resembles the animated series in style and feel that I loved every episode of this series. It's great to watch these characters I've never heard of be introduced as villains. It's going to be great for people that love the deep cuts of characters that are going to love this series. The fact that, the Batmobile looks like the Batmobile from the animated series, and Batman is very close to looking like his counterpart in the animated series. And the fact that it feels like a very old school animated series that probably was done on PC or on computer, as a digital form, really helps the aesthetic for the series. No episode outside the last 3 episodes are a continuation of the next episode. It's all like self-contained. I won't spoil what happens in the last 3 episodes, but it is a continuation. But there is a kind of a little bit of a run through throughout the series involving one character. But for the most part, you get, like when you had the original animated series, you get contained stories, and they're fun to watch. They're 25 minutes. They're pretty breezy, and they move pretty quickly. And it's just, I felt that Bruce Timm bringing back this kind of aesthetic and this kind of storytelling, using the directors and the writers and the animators that he has, it shows once again how talented of an actor how talented of a creator Bruce Timm is. And it really shows. I think this is just a fantastic Batman show. It's a fantastic animated show. It's just a lot of fun to watch. And I don't want to spoil too much, but once again the mature themes and the kind of the idea of willing to take it a little bit violent really helps the show age into some really interesting ideas. And I don't know, I just found myself really liking it. I really like what Batman is being put into when it comes to the situations and how he has to make choices, and the choices may not be the correct choice. And watching something like the Batman, the Matt Reeves movie, really shows that he was a good choice for that movie, but he's also a good choice to executive produce this, because not only does he get his name on here like J.J. Abrams, but I'm sure he has some voice in this saying, Bruce, please make it as close to the animated series as you can, but also kind of create your own thing. And once again, people like James Gunn and Bruce Timm, who are super fans, and Kevin Smith's the same way, who used some of these characters in some of the stuff he did, I have to say I appreciate that. I really do. It's really fun to see. I really like the way these characters are animated and the kind of choices that they make with them. And it's just, for me, as somebody who really only knows the base level of any comic book story that has tried to learn a little bit in the last few years, I really appreciate that I can learn something out of the series. And this series just does it in spades and is really a lot of fun. So that's kind of where I lie with the animated series. I really hope, I really hope and I really pray that Amazon puts the money to do a second season, because it leaves off with a really interesting thing that could have implications for a second season. And I don't know if that's something that they have to work out with Warner Brothers. I don't know, but I think as piece of IP, a piece of storytelling, this is a 9 out of 10. My score is a 9 out of 10, because though I was not really interested in some of the dialogue being spitted out by the mouth of these individuals, I found the stories just fun, and reminds me of a time like the Animaniacs reboot, of a time where it just was a completely different era of storytelling, and it's fun, it's entertaining, it's thought-provoking, but it also is kind of interesting. And it does have at the very end, kind of an idea of what it needs to be for a second season. But I really hope people watch this series. I hope they enjoy it. I hope they commission a second season. I hope the people, push against Warner Brothers and Amazon to make a second season. And if they do, I'll be very happy. But that's Batman Cape Crusader. A lot of fun, great characters, and once again, a remembrance of the old days of the 90s. So there you go. So without further ado, that's going to do it. That's going to be my take on Prime's, of course, Batman Cape Crusader. which should be out very, very soon of this review. Yeah, there you go. But in comments below, what is your favorite Batman villain? What is your favorite obscure Batman villain? They have released YouTube videos of the villains in the series. So is there one they've put out there that you really enjoy? Let me know why. But otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell top to find what's coming next. If you liked the video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out, guys.